next round at Brands Hatch. Frank Sittner's qualified well on the 4th row, but his expression has changed from anger to apprehension because he faces stern Class B opposition from Roland Ratzenberger, the only man to beat him so far this season. And from the BMW to a Ford Sierra Cosworth goes Chris Hodgetts. 10th round of the championship then, once again, Murray Walker.
After practice, it's Andy Rouse on the left and Rob Gravitt in the front row, and Carl Jones and Tim Harvey behind them. But Mike O'Brien in the upgraded Holden is going to be starting from the pit lane. So 15 laps of the full 2.6-mile Grand Prix circuit. Away they go, and from row 4, it's an excellent start by Frank Sittner in the BMW. 6th into paddock. And at paddock, it's Rouse, Jones, Tim Harvey, Mike Newman, Marnie, and Frank Sittner. Coming up to Druids, Andy Rouse, Jones is trying to go through on the inside, Harvey, Marnie, Sittner, Gravitt and Bristow. Down to Graham Hill Bend, the left-hander, 85 miles an hour. It's a nose-to-tail snake of Sierras, just like the North Circular Road, but quicker. And in car now with Edwards. He's had a bad start, 15th on the grid, but he's had a new engine fitted. It's Hathaway in front, approaching Surtees. Bristow on the right, touring already. And there's Mike Smith trying to go through on the right. So now, under the bridge at 140 miles an hour, past Graham Hathaway. That's Graham Hall ahead, his brakes lock up. Into Westfield at 100 miles an hour. And ahead of Hall, it's Sittner on the left, Ratzenberger on the right. And we've touched Hall, we've hit Hall at 100 miles an hour. And he gets away. Edwards has to slow down. Rouse, Jones, Harvey in 3rd position, number 5. Then it's Jerry Marnie, 4th. Mike Newman, 5th. Gravitt, 6th. And Hodgetts in 7th place. Down into Clearways. Rouse leading away, and there is Ratzenberger in the BMW, followed by Sittner, Hall and Edwards. And now we're back with Guy Edwards. In front of us, Godfrey Hall in the BMW. In front of him, Sittner, who is in 10th position, and Ratzenberger. Past Godfrey Hall, up to 11th place goes Guy Edwards, through on the inside of paddock. Now, down from Druids, it's Rouse leading. Carl Jones in 2nd place. Tim Harvey, there he is, number 5 in 3rd place. Jerry Marnie behind him, 4th. Then Guy Newman, and now we're with Tim Harvey in 3rd place. He has had a poor season so far this year. He used to drive a big V8 Rover, and now he's in the Ford Sierra Cosworth with a Terry Drury prepared engine, and it's going much better. So Rouse leads, Jones 2nd, Harvey 3rd, there he goes. Out of Westfield. Up towards Dingledell. Rouse, Jones, Tim Harvey, Marnie behind him in 4th place. On to Sterling's, the left-hander, 2nd gear, 75 miles an hour. Now the speed builds up as they go towards Clearways and Clark Curve. At about 130 miles an hour, under the bridge, then down through the box, into the right-hander at Clearways, out of Clark, towards the end of the lap. Rouse leads, Jones 2nd, Harvey 3rd, Marnie 4th. Coming up, Newman and Hodgetts, there they go. Now, Rob Gravitt, Graham Good, Ratzenberger leading the B class, Frank Sittner, and now Graham Good is attacking Gravitt for 7th place, and he takes it through on the outside at paddock. In car with Guy Edwards in 11th place, and ahead in the white BMW, it's Frank Sittner, who is 10th. Just ahead of him is Ratzenberger. Ratzenberger goes through on the inside and takes Gravitt at Druids. Now, is Sittner going to be able to get through? And the answer is no. Still chasing Frank Sittner. Graham Hill Bend at 85 miles an hour, and Edwards going through. Edwards up into 10th place, past Frank Sittner, and past Rob Gravitt as we go into Surtees, and Gravitt takes the position back out of Surtees. It's Gravitt 9th, Edwards 10th, Sittner 11th, and Edwards goes past Gravitt to 9th position. Now he's got to try and get Roland Ratzenberger in the BMW ahead, who is leading the B class, and ahead of him is Graham Good. Now Guy Edwards has just got back from holiday, and it's obviously done him a lot of good. out of Westfield, onto Dingledale. Guy Edwards chasing up through the field from 15th on the grid, up into 9th position, into Sterling's. Ahead, the 2.3-litre BMW M3 of the Austrian Roland Ratzenberger. Smaller engine, very nimble indeed, but Guy Edwards has got the power advantage. He must get past somewhere. Is he going to be here? Onto the Brabham Straight, building up to 140 miles an hour, and this is Guy Edwards' chance, straight past Ratzenberger to 8th position. Now it's Graham Good ahead. That's the next target for Guy Edwards. Ford Sierra Cosworth, nigh on 500 horsepower. Druids. Edwards, Ratzenberger, Sittner go through. And look at Ratzenberger, right on the tail of Guy Edwards' Ford Sierra as they come up to the left-hander at Surtees at about 70 miles an hour. And now, in the white BMW, Frank Sittner is challenging Ratzenberger's BMW for the B-class lead. There's Ratzenberger, there's Sittner. Rouse leads, Jones second, Tim Harvey up behind him, then Marnie in 4th position. In car with Tim Harvey. Jones in 2nd place is ahead. Carl Jones, the Welshman, in the Richard Asquith Ford Sierra Cosworth is going beautifully. Round the left-hander. Goes past, and straight past Jones goes Tim Harvey up into 2nd place. But look at this. Jones has blown a turbo. Look at the smoke screen behind him. Marnie goes through into 3rd place, and that smoke is a real hazard now. Here they come. Edwards in 8th position, Ratzenberger, Sittner. And look at the smoke. Into it dives Guy Edwards. And that's Good and Hodgetts in front. Ratzenberger blast past. And Sittner. They're taking a chance. So Ratzenberger and Sittner have gone through ahead of Guy Edwards that we're riding with. Over the line now with Good in front of us and Sittner on the left. Taking Sittner. There's Good. And here, Ratzenberger, Hodgetts, Good, Edwards and Sittner. And now a replay of what happened to Carl Jones in Jerry Marnie's car. Marnie pulls to the left very wisely, avoids all that smoke. Past Jones and into. Now there's Newman 4th. Hodgetts is up to 5th in the red Sierra. Good is 6th. Ratzenberger 7th. On his tail, number 21, Guy Edwards in 8th position. There's Sittner 9th and Hall 10th. And behind Guy Edwards, a furiously frustrated Frank Sittner is struggling to get to grips with the B-class leader, Roland Ratzenberger, there in 7th place in the red BMW. Now, back again with Guy Edwards. Past Ratzenberger up into 7th place. It's Graham Good ahead now, with Hodgetts in front of him. And it's a terrific race for Chris Hodgetts. First time in the Ford Cosworth Sierra. Over the line, 2 Sierras, 2 BMWs, into paddock. Hodgetts 5th, Good 6th, Edwards 7th, Ratzenberger 8th, Sittner 9th. Sittner has come up to Ratzenberger now, up to Druids. There's Ratzenberger, and behind him Frank Sittner. So now Frank, hopefully from his point of view, can do something about the Austrian in front. Down to the left-hander at Graham Hill Bend. On to Surtees, and Sittner is grimly determined to get past Ratzenberger for that Class B lead and the 3 extra championship points it would give him. Ratzenberger, Sittner, on to Pilgrim's Drop now at about 140 miles an hour. Now the 320 horsepower M3 BMW leads the British Championship, it leads the European Championship. And here at Brands Hatch, it's Nottingham's Frank Sittner versus Austria's Roland Ratzenberger, and behind them, Britain's Godfrey Hall. 3 BMWs together. Lapping at 96 miles an hour in a 2.3-litre car. Ratzenberger, Sittner, Hall, Graham Hathaway, but Mike Smith there is lapping even quicker. In his BMW M3, he's just put up a new class record at 97 miles an hour. And if Frank Sittner on the left can't beat it, Mike Smith will get that vital point. But look at Sittner now. He is really going for it as they go into paddock. And that is Edwards. Guy Edwards is ahead of Good now, up into 6th place. Up to Druids, Newman 4th. Hodgett's 5th in the Red Sierra. Guy Edwards 6th. Good there, number 15 in 7th place. Now look for the BMWs. There they are, Ratzenberger, Sittner, Hall in 10th position. And this is the fight to watch, definitely. Roland Ratzenberger has got to keep his cool because he knows that Frank Sittner will be doing everything he possibly can to get past him. Sittner is closing up on Ratzenberger as they come out of Surtees, but the Austrian is still ahead. Pilgrims, 140 miles an hour, and Sittner's trying to get through on the outside. Ratzenberger moves across, takes the line at Hawthorne, 120 miles an hour. And Godfrey Hall is taking advantage of the fact that these two are getting in each other's way to close up in the black BMW, with Graham Hathaway behind them in the yellow Ford in 11th place. Up to Dingle-Dell, on to Stirling's. Now Sittner, right on the boot lid of Ratzenberger's car, is looking for an opportunity to get past. If Roland makes one mistake, Frank Sittner will be through. They're coming up to Clearways. Out of Clark. All with a watching brief. Now what's Sittner going to try and do? He tried to get through on the outside last time. Is he going to jink through on the inside this time? No, Ratzenberger's going to close the door on him. Up to Druids. Frank Sittner is in a position any time to pass now. Coming out of Druids, down to Graham Hill Bend. And it's at Surtees on the previous lap that number 44 in the red BMW, Ratzenberger, ran wide. Sittner will remember that. Here's Surtees coming up. Ratzenberger's tight in all the way round. But Sittner's closing, he's going through, he is through. Frank Sittner goes up to 8th position and the B-class lead. That's giving him the 9 points he desperately wants. But remember, Mike Smith has got the fastest lap in the class. The 3 BMWs surge past the Ford Escort. And at Pilgrims behind them, leading Class D as ever, it's Phil Dowsett in the amazing Toyota Corolla 1600 with the fastest class lap at over 91 miles an hour. Ahead there of Andrew Jeffrey's 1800cc VW Golf. Number 70, Phil Dowsett, on his way to yet another class win. But up front, Andy Rouse is being chased hard there by number 5, the flying Tim Harvey. Oh, and he nearly goes off. Harvey really pushing Andy Rouse for overall victory. And that is Jerry Marnie lapping Phil Dowsett. Marnie in 3rd position. We're in car with him. Coming up to the Toyota Corolla 1600cc, and watch the difference in performance as Marnie puts his foot down and goes through. Now into the last lap, and once again it looks as though number 22, 4 times British champion Andy Rouse, is going to win for the 8th time in 10 races in his self-prepared car. And he's going to get an extra point for fastest lap. But Tim Harvey is 2nd. There he is. His best so far has been 4th. So he and Terry Drury will be well pleased with today. But it's going to be Andy Rouse's race. He's got less than a lap to go now. But Mike Smith has caught Ratzenberger thanks to that class fastest lap. Godfrey Hall 9th. Hathaway 10th. Roland Ratzenberger in 11th place. And Mike Smith in 12th. Down to Graham Hill Bend. The Austrian fought hard, but he couldn't keep Frank Sittner back. And he's going to have a job to keep Mike Smith behind him for the rest of the lap. But almost home, Andy Rouse looks certain to win. He goes out of Dingle-Dell. He's just got the run down to Clearways, Clark Curve, and then he will see the checkered flag with Tim Harvey behind him in 2nd place as they come through to lap the Toyota Supra. Over the line, Andy Rouse from Semele in Warwickshire wins and takes 10 points. And Frank Sittner wins the class and takes 9 points. So, victory for Andy Rouse. 2nd, Tim Harvey. 3rd, Jerry Marnie. 4th, Mike Newman. 5th, Guy Edwards. And 6th, Graham Good. All in Ford Sierra Cosworth.